So, Chair, the recording has restarted.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Natalie. If you want to sort of give us a bit of an overview of what's just taken place, please.
Yeah, so I've recontacted the premise license holder, and he claims that we'd had an incorrect email address, which is strange because we've been sending emails back and forth to that email address. But he's now provided us with another email address, and I've just been speaking to him on the phone, and he's confirmed that he has got the joining link and that he has just clicked on join. But it's not looking too hopeful.
Right. Well, Rachel, I'm going to ask for your advice here. But I think members of the panel, i.e. Councillor Ed, myself and Councillor Josie, I think we are happy to proceed. Am I right, both?
Yes, I agree, Beverly. Thank you.
Yep. Yes, that's correct, Beverly.
Yeah. So, Rachel, if we could just take your advice on this, and then we don't want to do anything that's wrong, but if you say we're okay to proceed, we will, if that's okay.
I'm just looking at the list of participants, Chair. I can't see the applicant as being present. But I would give a few minutes.
Yeah, no problem.
For any technical difficulty given the conversation that's just been had. And then you can make your decision, Chair.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So I think, Natalie, you were on the telephone. The license holder of the premises has confirmed they've received the joining link. I think under the current circumstances, we should proceed. And if they do join us, that's absolutely fine. And we will take whatever action necessary at that moment in time. But considering all the information that we've given in the pack, and the how can I put it nicely, the way that you've tried to engage, I think you've engaged an awful lot over a considerable period of time, and this has been a sort of a theme. So I think, given all the information we've got in the pack, we should proceed. Happy both? We should.
Yes, most definitely,
yeah.
Beverly. I believe that at almost 20 past now, the license holder has had more than enough time. Thank you.
Thanks.
I agree.
Thank you both. Right, so let's start. So, Rachel, perhaps you can just run us through the order of the meeting. Would that be in order?
Yes, of course, yeah, no problem. We do have an order that the meeting is going to take this afternoon. More discussion led, just to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to say everything that they want to say. So we'll start off with the council's licensing officer. So Natalie Jones will put forward the report to the panel. The panel can raise any questions. Then it's over to the responsible authority who's called this in for review. So that would be Mr. Rod Bowen. He will present his case report to the panel. Any questions can be raised by the panel and also any objectors. In view of the license holder, in view of his absence, there won't be any representations in that regard. And then it's over to the objectors if they wish to put forward their case or any comments that they'd like to make. The chair will summarise by inviting all parties to make any final representations before they withdraw to deliberate together with myself in a separate virtual room. So if you're able to stay in this setup, the decision will then be delivered with the panel back in this room. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Rachel. So we'll hand straight over then to Natalie as the Paris licensing officer. If you could just give us your report, please, Natalie.
Thank you, Chair. So obviously, yes, you've all had the report and all the documents within it and had chance to read through, but I'll just provide a summary of the situation we find ourselves in. So this premise, 7 Days Mini Store Limited, applied for a premise licence with the local authority in October last year, and it was granted following a 28-day statutory consultation period. So they've held a licence since November 2024. The premise is a very small mini-mart type premise with a licence for alcohol sales 8 a.m. till 11 during the week and 8 till midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. On the 2nd of July this year, officers from Wales Regional Investigation Team, Dyfed-Powys Police and immigration officers carried out a targeted test purchase operation at this premise in which illegal cigarettes were sold. These agencies then entered the premise to conduct a full inspection. The member of staff who made the sale was checked by immigration officials and discovered that he had no legal right to work in the UK. Also, during a thorough search, a hide was discovered, which was operated by electromagnets. There was a significant quantity of illegal cigarettes seized, 2,580 sticks of Richmonds and 72 pouches of tobacco. Given the counterfeit offences and the illegal worker offence, the police licensing officer has called for a review of the premise licence, detailing that the premise licence holder has failed to comply with the Prevention of Crime and Disorder and the Public Safety licensing objectives. Government guidelines state that the police and the licensing authority and other law enforcement agencies should use the review procedure to effectively deter criminal activity. Given the quantity of illegal tobacco that's been seized, Dyfed-Powys Police are of the opinion that this premise is being used as a front for illegal tobacco and vape sales. If it is determined that the premise is being used to further crimes, the subcommittee should give serious consideration to revocation of the licence. As part of the review process, there was a 28-day statutory consultation required, and we received a further 2 objections, which were from the Fire Authority and Trading Standards. Both of these objections relate to public safety and crime and disorder. As we've discovered today as well, the premise licence holder and the designated premises supervisor have proven very difficult to get hold of. I've attended the shop on 2 occasions. I've sent letters to the registered address, as well as emailing both DPS and premise licence holder numerous times. The invite to this meeting has been sent to both, and they have been advised that if they don't attend, the application will be determined in their absence, unless we are given good reason to postpone. I'm not aware of any good reason that they have given. To conclude, in determining this application for the premise licence review, in which 3 responsible authorities have called for its revocation, the licensing committee must consider the 4 licensing objectives: prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, the prevention of nuisance, and the protection of children from harm. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Members, do you have any questions that you wish to ask of Natalie at this stage?
Not at this time.
No, nothing from me, thank you. And thank you, Natalie, for the extensive documentation that we read beforehand.
Thank you. So we'll move straight on then to Rod to present the report from yourself. Please, Rod.
Thank you, Chair. I shall start by directing the panel to my supplementary report, which I can believe is found at page 35 of your bundle at Annex D. My formal application for the review is actually on page 15, so if you can also refer to that document as well. I would like to emphasize the key points of my summary document so I can provide the panel with the details of why I considered it appropriate and necessary for a review application to proceed. As Natalie has outlined, this premises has a premises license with the premises number 00 November or NN/prem/001148, which was issued on the 14th of November. This license authorises the sale of alcohol on an off-sale basis. The license is held by or in the name of 7 Days Mini Store Limited of 27 7th Street, Welshpool, and the designated premises supervisor is currently named as Mr. Samanai Hosseini, who holds a personal license which has been issued by Doncaster Council with a number LN/2015-0310. A search of Companies House search on their webpage is made, confirms that the company 7 Days Limited Store Limited is still active, having been incorporated on the 8th of October in 2024. And the site shows that a Mr. Hamadi Ali is listed as the director of the company, having been appointed in April of 2025. This application for a review hearing is being made on behalf of the Chief Constable of Dyfed-Powys Police under Section 51 of the Licensing Act 2003. It is the police's opinion that the premises licence holder, 7 Days Mini Store Limited, have operated in the business in a manner that fails to promote the key licensing objectives of the prevention of crime and disorder and the promotion of public safety. As the panel members are aware, reviews of premises licence represent a key protection for the community in respect to problems during the term of a premises licence. Home Office guidance under Section 182 of the Licensing Act refers to the licensing objectives and its aims. Subsection 1.2 highlights that the legislation provides a clear focus on the promotion of the 4 statutory objectives which must be addressed when licensing functions are undertaken. Subsection 1.3 details the objectives, and then subsection 1.4 states that each objective is of equal importance. There are no other statutory licensing objectives, so the promotion of the 4 licensing objectives is of paramount consideration at all times. In relation to review hearings, subsection 11 of the same document relates to subsection 11.1. The proceedings set out in the 2003 Act for reviewing premises licence represents a key protection for the community where problems associated with the licensing objectives occur after the grant or variation of a premises licence. Where a review relates to issues arising in connection with the crime, the section 182 of the guidance states at 11.27, there is certain criminal activity that may arise in connection with licensed premises which should be treated particularly seriously. One of these objectives is knowingly employing a person who is unlawful in the UK or who cannot lawfully be employed as a result of a condition on that person's leave to enter. 11.28 says it is envisaged that licensing authorities, the police and other law enforcement agencies, which are responsible authorities, will use the review procedures effectively to deter such activities and crime. Where reviews arise and the licensing authority determines that the crime prevention objective is being undermined through the premises being used to further crimes, it is expected that revocation of a licence, even in the first instance, should be seriously considered. The aforesaid guidelines are extremely significant and specific to this application, as during this operation, a member of staff was found by immigration officers to have no right to work. He was subsequently arrested by the immigration staff and later bailed for various immigration matters. I've gone on within my summary report to outline the incident summary, which I don't propose to go through in any detail, as obviously Natalie has outlined the basic circumstances of that and what items were found during the search and the test purchase operation when conducted by Trading Standards. But I will go on to emphasise the detail as I've outlined in my report at the conclusion of my report. Guidelines dictate that licensing authorities, the police and other law enforcement agencies will use the review procedures effectively to deter criminal activities. One such activity being the employment of a person who is unlawfully in the United Kingdom or who cannot lawfully be employed as a result of a condition on that person's leave to enter. Revocation of a licence, even in the first instance, should be seriously considered by the subcommittee if it is determined that the premises is being used to commit crime which impacts on the crime prevention objective. The authority's own licensing policy outlines the steps that can be undertaken with such premises. Section 24 of that document, entitled Enforcement, reads, "The authority will investigate complaints alleged breaches of the Act or licence conditions with a review to establishing if offences have been committed. The authority has an enforcement policy that encourages a graduated approach where there is evidence of an offence. The range of enforcement options include offering advice or guidance, verbal or written, informal written warnings, cautions, prosecutions, or review of licence. The police, having considered this policy before deciding to call this review, the police's view is that the circumstances of this test purchase and its outcome have identified a number of offences have been committed. The impact of these offences on the community is such that calling a review was necessary. The 7-day mini-store, based on the evidence and the finds during this inspection, clearly indicate that this premises is an organised front for criminal activity. Dyfed-Powys Police respectfully suggest that the situation will not change and feel that the only option open that would address the systematic failures outlined in these submissions and promote the licensing objective is to revoke the premises licence." That's my report, Chair and panel members.
Thank you, Rod, and thank you for all the paperwork that's been submitted. That it's been a lot for us to read through, so thank you. It's very comprehensive. So panel, we normally now move to the licence holder or the representative, but we haven't got them. Oh, apologies, I didn't ask. Were there any questions that anyone had of Rod? Sorry, I omitted to ask if we had any questions.
No, Chair, not from me, but I'd like to send a thanks to Rod again for that detailed report. Thanks, Rod.
Again, none from me, Chair. I think
No.
very well reported.
Thank you both. Sorry, apologies. So we don't have the licence holder or representative, so we will move on to the objectors. So Jackie, as Trading Standards Officer, is there anything you'd like to tell the panel?
Most of it has been covered in Rod's comprehensive report, and he detailed the exercise which took place on the 2nd of July. I'd just like to add that the street value of the item seized is over £5,000, so that would only be on that one occasion. That premises was targeted because of previous intelligence received, so we operate an intelligence informed approach to enforcement of licensing matters and other matters. So after a number of occasions we have done test purchases there. We've attempted to do underage sales test purchases there where we've used a volunteer to attempt to buy products. On a wider basis, this part of work is delivered by the OPCC team, which is a national team which coordinates all of the illicit tobacco enforcement and vapes throughout Wales. So anything which we find, we report an intelligence to them, and then they focus their attention on the premises which have the highest number of intelligence logs. Nationally, these types of incidences have been mapped to organised crime gangs. So part of our work is feeding this intelligence in to create a bigger picture, and it is the OPCC team who are appraised of all the information in relation to what organised crime gangs are in operation. Now, I'm not saying that 7-day mini market is part of that, but it has the characteristics with the long life products and cash only approach. Of greater concern and also for consideration is the association with child sexual exploitation, which goes along with these organised crime gangs. And again, we have no direct evidence that Severn Mini Market is associated with that, but it is something on our radar, which we are looking for constantly when we're on inspection. So I haven't got anything further to say. As I say, all the detail is in Rod's report. So thank you, Chair.
No, thank you, Jackie. Thank you. I'm going to come to Reese and then we can ask any questions after of the objectors together, if that's okay. So Reese and Paul, we'll hand over to you if that's okay. If there's any further comment you'd like to add.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So just briefly for the panel, I'll just outline our involvement with the premises and how that interacts with the licensing legislation as a result of the visit. You'll obviously see in the pack that Natalie's helpfully provided that you've got a summary or the letter that was sent to the license holder and obviously copied back to licensing by way of our comments for this process. As we've heard already, the original license was submitted back in, I think it was October 2024, and in line with our own processes and our risk-based inspection programme, we've sent a standard response to them at that point to say, because we don't feel the premises in particular is of a high fire risk, we wouldn't object to the grant of the licence at that point, but that we would follow up with an inspection in due course. Obviously, if we come forward to this process, the fact that the review was requested by Rod and the team in the police, that's obviously expedited our requirements to go and carry out a fire safety inspection under the fire safety order. And we attended, myself and my colleague, Watch Manager Paul Arms, attended to do this on the 21st of August this year. You've seen a summary of the outcome of that inspection that was sent back to the licence holder. Obviously, a key element for us is the provision of a fire risk assessment. This has always been a requirement for licensed premises, and it's now been extended to all premises regardless. And the requirements for the limited company to provide this was outlined to them in our original letter in October 24. On site, we found that there was no fire risk assessment available. In addition, the plan that was submitted at that point showed firefighting equipment that we would expect, fire extinguishers and so on. They weren't found within the premises for whatever reason at the time of our visit. No other notable fire safety measures were in place, fire action notices, emergency plans and so on and so forth. The back storeroom is what we would class as an inner room. In simple terms, a fire that starts in the front of the shop, you have to provide some means of alerting people that might be in the storeroom at the rear, or have a gap to allow smoke to effectively travel and warn people that they're in there. There was no provision for that. And also when we attended, there was a strong smell of cigarette smoke in the rear storeroom. The apparent member of staff that we spoke to apologised and said that was due to him. So I think in summary, as I said, obviously the level of issues from a fire safety perspective, possibly not quite as great as what we've heard from other regulatory colleagues. Our reply under the fire safety orders, we have taken non-statutory enforcement action on this occasion due to the level of risk, but nevertheless, from a licensing perspective and the objective of public safety, we believe this is not being met and that the licence should be revoked. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you both. So, panel, do we have any questions of either of the objectors?
No, not from me. Very interesting stuff. Thank you very much. But no further questions from myself.
And none from me, Chair.
Thank you both. So at this point, there's it just leaves me to summarise, I think. I think we can say it's disappointing that the licence holder isn't here, so we can't hear from themselves. Natalie, sorry, do you want to summarise? Are you on mute? Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, go on.
Didn't want to interrupt you mid
No,
spiel,
I'm
but
rushing ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to give an update. Obviously, while we've been in this meeting, I've had messages come through to me from the the premise license holder, who originally claimed that he couldn't get in, and then he's subsequently been asking me what's the decision then. So I'm not entirely sure that there's been much effort to join this meeting. So I just wanted to make the panel aware that, you know, I have been trying to advise him on what he needs to do to get into this meeting if he wanted to join. So yeah, I think it was, in my opinion, I don't think they had any intention of joining this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. So is everyone happy that they've had a fair opportunity to say anyone want to add anything further? I'm not seeing any hands raised. So Rachel, are we happy that we've followed the correct procedure and the panel members will leave to deliberate? Are we happy?
Yes, Chair, if everyone has said everything they need to say, we can withdraw and deliberate.
Thank you. So and myself and Councillor Ed and Councillor Josie will leave into a separate breakout room. So if those of you can just remain, and we will deliberate and come back to you with a decision shortly. Thanks, Carol, if you could.
Okay, Chair, I'll open the breakout room for you.
Thank you.
Right, just to let everybody know, I'm bringing the panel back in. Chair, just to confirm, everybody's back in.
Thank you, Carol, and thank you to everyone present that's awaited upon our decision. So I can confirm that having considered the report pack, the representations we've heard and the evidence presented to us this afternoon, the panel have taken the decision to revoke the premises licence. This is due to considering the licence objectives, and it is apparent 2 of these have been contravened. To confirm that Rachel will be in touch with the licence holder to confirm the decision in writing and notify them of any appeal mechanism. So to conclude, we have taken the decision to revoke the licence. So thank you to everyone that's attended, and thank you to all the work that's gone in. We've had an extensive report pack that was some 50 odd pages long. So thank you ever so much for all the information we've received. And I will close the hearing at this point unless Rachel has anything further from the legal perspective you want to add.
Nothing from me, Chair. I'll follow up in writing with the licence holder, as you said.
Thank you ever so much. So thank you to all those at present, and we'll close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks all. Bye.
Thank you.